The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge, broadcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe. You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Well, the Dems jump right back in, so I guess we should too. Welcome everybody back from the holidays. John Lebang here. Thank you for joining me. And looks like the Dems are trying to shove a whole slew of actions down our throats in just the first couple days that they're back to work. They want to hit the ground running. You know, and I don't blame the American people for wanting to get rid of those Republicans. The people of this country have spent 6 years electing Republicans to stop Obama's agenda. And at the very least, they squandered their opportunity. Obamacare hasn't been repealed. The border isn't secure. That's why we're in this government shutdown right now. Over a lousy $5 billion. And to you and me, that's a lot of money. But to the government, that's nothing. They hand 6-7 times that amount away to foreign nations. So I don't see what the problem is if your president wants $5 billion for a border wall. Then give it to him. 50% of the people voted for Trump or pretty close. You know, you get the argument, well, not really, because California. Boy, there's a movement on that one, too, that we're going to eventually get to. But to get back to the Republicans and why the people got rid of the Republicans, the border isn't secure. Obamacare is still there. The government spending is still out of control. Out of control. And these are the primary reasons why the Republicans were given the reins of the country. But they failed miserably. And I understand why the American people would want to make a change there. But the problem is you don't give it to the Democrats.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Now, in contrast, the last time the Democrats were there, they managed to accomplish a great deal of things during just the first 2 years of Bush, and even more during the first 2 years of Obama.
Yes, we can.
They also crashed the economy. I guess they're not given credit for that. Everyone seems to forget that the economy crashed as soon as the Democrats took office. In the House, we just gave it back to them. The American people just gave Congress back to the Democrats. And these are the people who created the problems that we elected Republicans to fix. It's maddening. It's maddening to watch. Some days it drives me bonkers. During the break, I was contemplating what the heck I was going to do this year as it relates to this show. Because when I saw the American people go right back to the Democrats, I realized they hadn't learned a damn thing. They haven't learned a damn thing. Either that or they have collective amnesia. And everybody who's so bent out of shape on the left about Trump, the dude's accomplished very little in his time there. All the programs that were in place when he got there, that were implemented during Nancy Pelosi's reign and Obama's reign, are primarily still there. We had a bunch of executive orders canceling out other executive orders. That's a wash, big deal. What did that really do? Not a whole lot. The little guy didn't get the tax cut like the big guy did. Oh, they'll say you got a tax cut, and you got some tax credits, give you some cheese back, a little folding money. Maybe you can go buy yourself a nice dinner with it. Now, Trump was only able to undo just a little bit of what Obama wrought on the country. Everything was blocked. Everything was delayed, stalled, even by members of his own party, or his own so-called party. Now the spendthrifts and the grifters that have been recently given power want to impose and implement their agenda quickly on us. Because they have to do it quickly. Because once the American people realize what these people, the Democrats, are going to do in the next 2 or 3 years, they're going to want to get rid of them. And if they don't, then we know something's screwy. Then we know the shift in the country has gone too far to the left, and we'll never get it back. See, we had a small window of opportunity to save this country. I think we squandered it. I think we missed it. Just like the Republicans.
What difference at this point does it make?
And all you people who hate the Make America Great thing, and I understand that, a slogan is a slogan, and it doesn't mean a whole lot. What does that mean, Make America Great Again? You'd have to ask Trump what he truly means about that. For the people that voted for Trump, I can tell you what they wanted. They wanted things to be fair again. They wanted to make a good wage at work and not be ripped off by the government, taxed to death, regulated to death, forced to buy health insurance that was supposed to go down after a giant government takeover of the health care system, but didn't go down. It got more expensive right after the effects of a major crash. So you put a major crash in, you let the crash happen, and then you, in the recovery, implement a whole bunch of things saying it's going to fix it when it never does. And I love that the government shut down, by the way, because it's the federal government. Especially now that the Dems are in charge. I am just happy with the government being closed. Because they're going to try to impose their will on all of us. They're going to claim mandate. They're going to try to pose their will on us, and we're supposed to just sit there and shut up. They have a mandate. And because they have a mandate, they can do whatever they want, and we all have to take it. Except, what about the people who elected Trump? Did they give him a mandate? He was elected by the American people as well. I know some of you dislike that idea. More than I dislike the fact that Nancy Pelosi is running Congress again, the House of Representatives. But shouldn't the people who voted for Trump be able to get what they elected Trump and the collection of GOP members? in the House of Representatives and the Senate to do what they wanted them to do? They sent them up there to repeal Obamacare. They sent them up there to secure the border. And they set them up there to reduce taxation and reduce government spending. Isn't that the primary reasons the Republicans ran and promised? Aren't those the reasons that they were elected on? I'm just asking the question, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like those ideas or not is irrelevant. That's what the Republicans promised. And that's why they were elected. And they didn't get the job done, so they were removed because of that. The problem is we had, the American people with their amnesia forgot that the Democrats are worse than the Republicans. The Democrats caused the problems, and then they elect the Republicans to fix them. The Republicans never fix them or barely fix them or just clean them up a little bit, and then they throw it right back in the hands of the Democrats. That is if the Republicans do anything. And as we saw this past Congress, linguini spine Republicans, they can't get anything accomplished. And beyond that, just getting to the voter, just getting to the people who voted for Trump, who voted for all these Republicans, who's half the country, or at least half the voting population. How's that? They don't want to have a bunch of things shoved down their throat, and they had promises made to them that aren't being kept. Aren't we supposed to be in a democracy? Isn't that what you on the left, your precious democracy is supposed to be about? Nobody's left out, right? We worry about everybody in the country, not just the ones with your agenda. But it is, isn't it? It is always about the progressive agendas only, and disregarding the concerns, the grievances, and the beliefs of those with opposite ideas. But there's a lot of people in this country with opposite ideas. But if we're only allowed to implement progressive ideas, that doesn't sound like a democracy to me. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like totalitarianism to me. When only one belief system is allowed to exist and everything else is destroyed, dismantled, blocked, silenced. So, Mr. Trump, I'm asking you to do this. Because they blocked you, they stopped you, they got in your way. They did everything they could to stop what the American people voted you to do. Or a lot of it anyways. Do exactly what they did, Mr. President. Do exactly what they did. Deny everything. Block them. Put up roadblocks. Tear down their walls. Stall their agenda. Do whatever you can. Use the Senate to block for you so you don't have to take the blame. Republicans still own the Senate. Do what you have to do to stall their agenda. Fight and block. And if you have to keep the government shut down, I'm all for it. The longer D.C. is shut down, the more we'll see, as Americans, our states can finally take back some of the power that Washington had stripped from them, and then they consolidate it for themselves. You realize, ladies and gentlemen, that your state is a separate entity, and that the United States, These United States are 50 separate entities